Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to Did You Know? This time, I'm so excited to have here three wonderful neighbors of ours who are going to be speaking about South Korea. And let me warn you, you are not going to believe what you're going to hear today. We're going to be talking about an enchanted, magic country. Why do I say that? Because in only 70 years, South Korea has gone from being one of the poorest countries in the world to one of the richest, most technologically advanced, and you will hear about its culture, its people, its history, and their amazing alphabet. You will get to learn about technology, inventions, medicines, you name it, South Korea has done it. So please help me to welcome our three wonderful people who live in Laguna Woods Village and bring with their work a better life to all of us each and every day, and three people who I'm so honored to call my dear friends. Please welcome Ms. Pearl Lee.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Mr. Yang Lee and Mr. Yang Chi Park.
안녕하세요. 감사합니다.
안녕하세요. And let me start with you, Mr. Park. Please tell us a little bit about the Korean population that lives in Laguna Woods and what are their favorite activities here.
Thank you for a great opportunity to introduction Korean American and Association Laguna Woods and also United States. Like earlier you said, it is one of the most poor country to now, the top 10 in the world economic, and besides it, the high technology. And now, Korea is GNP is over $30,000. It is a very, very, very difficult, but made it to Korea. All those things without the United States, that is impossible. And like Dr. Lee, he came to the late 1950 or 1960 in America. At the time, Korea is the most poor country. Now it's a difference. And 1950, in North Korea invasion to South, and United States, besides the other 16 other countries support, made it to war is over and make it to peace. In 1960, President Kennedy started immigration policy. In meantime, many education, which is at the time very low level, but they are very enthusiastically to be in America, non-American education, which is now one of the high technology or one of the top education in the worldwide. Now I'd like to introduce the Laguna Woods Korean Association. Currently between 15 to 2,000 residents in Korean.
Wow.
It is. I'd like to show my book of this is what we call 우리의 낙원, which is I call interpretation is paradise of Laguna Woods or below heaven Laguna Woods. This is every other year published, and we have more than 200 people writing. And this is something very great information. Anyone who wish to come to Laguna Woods, I just give it to this one.
They know everything.
They know everything. They are easy to grab this book and sign up to this typical village. Also, especially Laguna Woods population between 18,000, 2,000, but 10%, I believe 10% is a Korean, one of the largest population in minority it is. And typically golf.
That's what they like to do.
I don't know how many is, but currently about 70% Korean, golf is a Korean. The other program, they have a lot of an activity, such as like Dr. Lee, running to the bio groups and line dancing, traveling, and besides the other 30 and small group, each group is as small as 10, large as over 150. They are very enjoyable retirement life.
So tell us briefly, why did Koreans come to the United States, but especially to the village?
Village is it's great opportunity, many things. Also, there are those people be United States at 30 year to 65 year old. 65 year, and they heard about how wonderful. Like I say,
They heard it here.
here is the Laguna Woods, paradise of Laguna Woods or below heaven Laguna Woods. So I think that's what I hear, and that's I sign up to this community.
Thank you so much. So tell me, Dr. Lee, talk to us about the alphabet. It's such a famous, the Korean alphabet is such a famous alphabet throughout the world. Tell us something about its history, its development, etc.
Yes, King Sejong, he's a very prominent, famous king in Korean history. He has a great love for his people, and he has a great vision and dreams, and he was a very forward-looking man. Actually, technology, social, and cultural, all this achievement in Korea was reached in his reign period. And he genuinely interested in to introduce the writings, which is easy to learn and easy to use. That time, Korea was using mostly Chinese characters. So he is concerned to improve literacy, because at that time they didn't have any letters or alphabets except Chinese character, which was only used by well-educated people and scholars. So he's interested in, but he thought there will be a great resistance from those people in power. So he has to develop this Korean alphabet in secret. Oh. That was a hard job. Hangul alphabet is arguably the best Korean invention, composed of 10 vowels and 14 consonants. The character imitates the shape of lips and tongue, and when making that particular sound. It is so easy to learn. Actually, my sister, she was a high school student, learned in the morning, and in the evening, she was able to read textbook.
Wow.
Me, I was fourth grade when first saw Korean alphabet, but it took me a little longer than that, few weeks maybe. Because it is so easy and reputable, nowadays there was many comments from scholars from all over the world. I will quote a couple of them. Hangul is a feature system in which the shape of the letters shows the characteristics of sound. Hangul must unquestionably rank as one of the greatest intellectual achievement of humankind. Isn't it a pretty remarkable comment? Professor Gregory from United Kingdom. Most scientific system of writing in general use in any countries, Harvard professor. Finally, in Thailand, Indonesia, they have tribes, Chai tribes. They adopted Hangul as the official script of the country in 2009. In October 1, 1997, UNESCO registered as a World Record Heritage. In spite of this beautiful praising word, Hangul went through many difficult periods. From the beginning, it was a ruling party of the government opposing to using Hangul because they want to perpetuate general population to be illiterate. It makes them easier to maintain their powers continually. There was a bad king in 1504. There is a king called Yansan-gun. He abolished using Hangul.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a terrible thing. And yet Hangul continually spread underground. There was books for the woman, and the Buddhist monk introduced using Hangul. And in 1602, Christian was introduced to Korea, and the missionaries start using Bible in Korea. At least start with maybe just a little bit. So actually some missionary use Bible, Korean Bible, as a kind of a teaching Korean alphabet. So anyway, so this was continued, and finally, in 17th centuries, they gained wider use after a period of nationalism in 19th century. However, when Japan occupied Korea in 1910, they abolished using alphabet, period. So it was the darkest period. But 1945, at the end of the World War II, now Hangul revived, and it's become popularized, not only in Korea, not all over the world. In 2022 today, now we strongly believe, without doubt, Hangul is a perfect alphabet to fit best of the digital technical environment, and probably it was a foundation and contribution factor to today's K-culture.
Thank you. It's amazing that the language and alphabet was used for power from one country towards another, and to keep the people illiterate. That's amazing. Pearl, beautiful Pearl, could you please talk a little bit about the culture in South Korea, the customs, and also besides talking about the magic of the country, tell us how this magic has also brought new problems.
Well, I'll try my best. South Korea is the size of state of Virginia, with 50 million people in population. And the weather in South Korea is very similar to that weather of Virginia, 4 seasons with a rather cold winter. Right now, South Korea has most heavily militarized border with North Korea, I think, on Earth. And Seoul, which is the capital city of South Korea, is within 50 miles of distance from the border. South Korea was liberated from Japan after 36 years of occupation in 1945, and later was invaded by the communist force, which resulted in Korean War. When the war finally ended in 1953, South Korea was second poorest country on earth, with less than $70 a GNP, compared to $35,000 GNP, according to 2021 statistics.
Wow.
Since 1960, South Korea has established steady growth and poverty reduction. And also South Korea transformed itself from a very poor agrarian society to one of the most industrialized nations today. And many called the economy of South Korea as a miracle of the Han River. Some of the major industries in South Korea include shipbuilding, auto car manufacturing, telecommunication, and information technology. And I think recently we are also making lots and lots of progress in medicine. And one of the most difficult organ transplants are done in Korea with the highest success rate. So people from all over the world that has to go through a very difficult operation would go to Korea because they were told by their doctors that this hospital in Seoul has the highest success rate. In terms of technology, more than 45 million people are online every day. And every household is connected by internet. You can very well say whole South Korea is a wireless nation. And because of these, Korea also gained high popularity from the tourist industry. We have over 17 million tourists come to visit Korea every year, and the number is growing. And many tourists often say, Korea is the country where you can experience future with the old times, because the high technology mixed with the old traditional cultures in the very modern city. So it has been a very popular population destination. And there's a new word called Hallyu, Hallyu, meaning Korean wave, which also has an influential global phenomenon all over the world, starting of 21st century. It heavily infects the contemporary culture, entertainment industries, cosmetics and fashions, etc. And the global success of Korean wave is due to internet and YouTube. And I often ran into Laguna Woods residents in the pool, and they tell me how much they enjoy watching the Korean TV program through different streaming service. And I also have grandchildren that were born here. They love to dance to K-pop. And some of the music they love, I have never listened, I have never known. But I know that it's widely spread, and it's very, very popular all over. And because of this exposure in Korean culture, Korean cuisine has become also very popular. Korean food is intensely flavored and somewhat spicy, heavy in vegetable and cooked with very little oil, and Korean meals are usually in low in calories. And one of the most famous Korean dish is called kimchi, mixed with Korean cabbage with lots of garlic, lots of onions, lots of ginger. And during the COVID times, the sales of kimchi went up, increased quite a bit throughout the world, because we were told that kimchi helps you to build your immunity against different viruses. And Koreans And also, you can easily experience Korean food by going to Costco. Right now, even Costco carries a lot of ready-made Korean frozen food, and they are among bestsellers. I'm very proud that Korea is a thriving country with a cutting-edge technology. And because they had to come from the bottom to the top within the last 70 years, we have an expression called 빨리빨리. It means hurry, hurry. Everything is rush. They want to rush to eat, rush to work, rush to go study, rush to reach their goals. The more the better, and they keep being pushed. And because of this rush attitude, it creates a great pressure among young generation. And also the Korean mothers are very aggressive in terms of putting a lot of pressure on their children. And because of these build-up pressures, a lot of young generation suffers, and they don't have a dream of their own, but they feel like they are being pushed. They are being programmed, because we want the more the better, faster the better, higher the better, that type of attitude. And I hope that perhaps this is a good time for us to sit back and catch our breath and reevaluate our goals and directions, so we don't have to pay such a high price for this type of attitude. And I hope that our young generation in Korea can have their own dreams and have their own identity without being pushed and rushed. And the competition is always good, but it has a high price to pay. My personal dream, along with 50 other millions of Koreans, are someday we like to see one unified Korea under democratic government. And I also have my personal dream is to see my grandchildren and their children carry on Korean culture in the United States. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And now it's time to eat.
Yes.
Oh, no, now it's time to play. Did you know?
Okay.
My friends, this is time to play Did You Know? And today I didn't bring little things, because in South Korea they do big things. Let's start with Hyundai. Did you know that Hyundai is the largest automotive manufacturing facility in the world? They produce 1,600,000 cars per year, and those cars are sold in 200 countries in roughly 5,000 dealerships. Wow. Did you know that Samsung is a multinational conglomerate with revenue that amounts to about 1/5 of South Korea's GDP? Most of its revenue comes from Samsung's electronics, the largest IT and consumer electronics company in the world. Now, when we talk about social issues, before you heard about the great King Sejong the Great. I repeated the word, sorry. That same king that you heard about earlier was instrumental not only in creating the alphabet, but also to ask the people whether they liked their taxes or not. Now, that's a good idea. In 1430, he created a public opinion poll regarding a new tax system. Over the course of 5 months, the poll surveyed 1,072,000 people, of which 57% responded with approval for the proposed reform. Wow. How about parental leave? Now, you pay attention to this, because what this great king did was not all. In 1426, Sejong the Great enacted a law that granted the government granted women 100 days of maternity leave after childbirth. 4 years later, he reconsidered and added 30 more days before they gave birth. And that's not all. He also added 30 days for paternity leave. But let's talk a little bit about South Korean inventions. Let's talk about medicine and sciences. How about, have you heard about the following? Smart prosthetic skin, cloned dogs, preventive HIV vaccines, stent implantation on left main coronary artery stenosis, video-assisted mini laparotomy surgeries, percutaneous laser-assisted endoscopic technique for herniated disc surgery. If you didn't understand what I said, consult your doctor. I can assure you that if you're taking medicines, you are taking medicines created in South Korea. For example, if you take a medicine for chronic bronchitis, urinary tract infections, acute bacterial skin infections, for hyperglycemia in patients with type 2 diabetes, medicines to treat hypertension and heart failure, for chronic myeloid leukemia, to treat osteoarthritis, for reflux disease, duodenal ulcer, and last but not least, gentlemen, medicines to treat erectile dysfunction. You are taking medicines created in South Korea. Let's talk a little bit about electronics. Did you know that the first commercially available MP3, the first MP3 phone, the TV phone, the tablet computer, the watch phone, the curved display watch phone and smartphone, the first solar-powered cell phone, the touchscreen phone, the LTE mobile phone, first universal flash storage memory cards? Guess where was it invented? You got it, South Korea. Most of these were introduced by Samsung Electronics. Now, have you heard about the closet? Well, in 2011, LG introduced a closet called the Styler. What does it do? You put your clothes in your closet and they get steamed. You get steamed, clean clothes that are hung inside without using any water or detergents. In South Korea, this is used in hotels, airports, casinos, and just in plain homes. Wow. How about this other first? The first internet cafe, the first virtual store before Amazon. First cancer-fighting nanobot, which is a microscopic robot called bacteriobot that is injected into the bloodstream and seeks out and destroys cancer cells while leaving healthy cells alone. They also have invented software that predicts cardiac arrest 24 hours before it happens. So if you're lying down in a hospital, they connect you into a machine, beep, beep, beep. It tells the doctors that a heart attack is coming within the next 24 hours, and they can act before it happens. I don't know what do they do, but they do something. What about the South Korean invention to recharge your electric car while you're driving? You don't have to park it. You're driving, and they put batteries under the streets, the highways, and your electric car is being charged. South Korea has become Asia's leader in medical technology. As Pearl said, there is a very large medical tourism that goes to South Korea. They are the top in the world in the field of living donor liver transplantation. And it is also the third largest market for plastic surgery in the world. And speaking about plastic surgery, South Korea has emerged as a trendsetter in the world for beauty products. Ladies, do you think that your skin will look as beautiful as the skin of our gorgeous Pearl just because you use one beauty product per night? Well, Korean skincare routine is also famous for its extensive multi-step regimen, with routines ranging from 10 to 18 steps every day, every time you look in the mirror. Are you in? So now you know. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot about South Korea, a real magical country, and our South Korean neighbors. I'll see you next time with more of Did You Know? Take care and stay healthy.